All right, let's do this. Welcome back to the eye test here on Chatted Up Sports. My name is Drew. If you don't know, I know it's been a while. I know it's been quite some time since the eye test actually aired. Hey, life happens, gets in the way, but I'm back and I'm ready to. I'm ready to discuss the NBA. We had the NBA trade deadline. We have the NBA All Star break coming up over the next week. It's actually a 2 week in NBA fantasy, so be prepared for that if you are not. And then we have a couple interesting topics that have been pervasive over the last couple of days since the trade deadline ended. So I want to talk about that. There's a ton of interesting stuff to get to. I have no plan for this recording. I just hit record. We're going to see if I can one take it. Here we go. So first off, I want to talk about the Bulls. I don't know what they're doing. They don't get a first round pick for anybody that they get. Here's kind of what I think about the Bulls. If I'm being honest, if I was a Bulls fan, I'd be very upset. But I understand what they're doing here. I actually kind of get it because I think they realized, hey, we're not going to get a first round pick for anybody because we waited way too long to blow this thing up. So what they did, and smartly, I think, was they just cut bait. And there's some discussion whether they thought that they were going to be able to flip Anthony Simons as well. They get him and Jaden Ivey, two interesting youngish assets. Ivey definitely more interesting to me than anybody else that the Bulls receive. I know they have 10 point guards. Whatever. You aren't going. They're trying to tank anyways. It wasn't going to be a big deal. Anyways, they weren't going to make any noise at all. I mean, so what do you care if you're a Bulls fan? I get that you're probably upset about the assets that you got back, but they waited way too long to blow it up. You know it wasn't going to be pretty. So, anyways, I'm interested to see Jaden Ivey kind of with. I wouldn't say this is his own team because Montas is still there, but it's interesting that Jaden Ivey could potentially be a one option. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see if he's a good stats, bad team guy, or if he could be something more. Next, Wizards, got to talk about them real quick. They do the Trae Young trade way before the trade deadline, kind of kicks off the trade season. And then they get Anthony Davis, who they've announced he's not going to play. Trae Young's not going to play this year. They're going to tank, which ties into something that we'll talk about a little bit later. But they're going to tank, and that's fine. I think if you're the Wizards, that's what you should be doing. And I think I've seen a couple of perspectives on this I like. One, why would you trade for Anthony Davis if you're the Wizards? He doesn't fit your timeline. I get that, but really the one that I'm more partial to is the Wizards haven't been good in so long, and it's not like they're the Hornets. Like, I know the Hornets were on an 8-game win streak. They had the, whatever you want to call it, the jive at the Hive, the other day against the Pistons, but it's not like they were building this methodically blueprint, young team like the Hornets. They have Khan, they have all these young assets, Musa, like they have Alex Sarr, and they have Trey Johnson, they have Keyshawn George, and those are fun assets, but I don't think any of those are going to blueprint out the way that the Hornets are blueprinting out right now, at least not in like a short amount of time. Like, I think you're still bad for at least 2 years. So the Wizards, they trade for Trae Young for 2 expirings. They get Anthony Davis for relatively a light price for what Anthony Davis probably could have gone for. Of course, Anthony Davis was traded for Luka Doncic last. So do the math on that pick to player ratio. So I don't hate what the Wizards do at all here. They get rid of the Middleton thing, because they had to. And if you can turn Chris Middleton and Marvin Bagley as player assets into Anthony Davis, I think you would do that every time on any team, no matter what. I know Anthony Davis is banged up, but take the risk. You'll be okay. Wizards, hey, it's looking up in the DC metro area. Next, let's see, Pacers. Yeah, Pacers. So fun thing that the Pacers and the Clippers, actually we'll tie Clippers, Cavaliers, Pacers all into one. Fun thing that they do here. The Pacers and Clippers are basically gambling. You thought Kalshi was everywhere. You thought it was just with Giannis Antetokounmpo. Well, it's basically in the draft lottery now. I know there's going to be a ton of money on prediction markets late on who's getting number 1 pick, but how about who's getting this Pacers Clippers protected pick? It's going to be really interesting. I'm super excited to see how this shakes out because the pick, of course, is protected 1 through 4 and 10 through 30 for the Pacers. If it's anywhere from 5 through 9, the Clippers get it. So very interesting. I think it's an all or nothing, like push the chips to the middle. We know we have to trade Kawhi this offseason because there might be a scandal thing coming down with the NBA. Kind of feels like that's what they were doing, clearing house with Zubac and Harden. They know they're probably about to get sanctions. They're way over the cap anyways. They're far into luxury tax. They're under 500. They can't even justify the push it one more season type of thing. They were just ready to trade. They were just ready to get cut bait with this. So they're gambling. They're gambling for a pick that could be 5 through 9 in what feels like a true 4-person draft with Peterson, DeBonsta, Wilson, and oh goodness. Oh wow. That is a true dementia moment. Wow. I've forgotten the other guy's name. Wow. Anyways, so in tying in with that, I like the move. If this was the only move available for the Clippers for Zubac to get a pick recently, and of course that pick does roll into a 2031 pick, so unprotected they still get the 2029. Which hey, that might be valuable if you're if the Pacers are just kind of average. You could add a really good role player if the Clippers kind of rebuild. They start rebuilding their treasure trove of picks, especially if Kawhi is going to go out. In the next offseason. I don't know if he will. Seems like he's pretty happy to be a Clipper. He's been awesome as of late. If you haven't or not able to watch Clippers games, you need to be tuning in. You just need to watch it. It's a good experience right now. Kawhi's averaging like 30-something since they've made the trade. In keeping with the Clippers, they do trade James Harden away to the Cavaliers. And Harden comes out and kind of says, hey, this was mutual. Like I didn't really push for this, but the Clippers kind of came to me and said, hey, this is what we're thinking. And I have no reason to think that was incorrect. And I don't think anybody would be – I don't think there's anything more to it than the Clippers. They had to cut bait, and they realized that this iteration of their team wasn't going to work, and it's time to get the young guys some run. So Harden goes to the Cavaliers. They've looked really good since he's been there. I say really good. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. They're winning games. It looks better than, obviously, Garland not being on the floor, and Mobley's still injured. So if Mobley comes back and he kind of fits into this stereotypical these roles with James Harden that just really work, I think Evan Mobley is going to really love the James Harden experience, especially since Harden's left-handed and Mobley likes to dive in from the right. I think he's going to like it quite a bit. So Clippers hit the reset button. Cavs and Pacers kind of go all in. I don't know how much we'll see of Zubac, especially because they got to get 1 through 4 pick. And if you fall out of the lottery, then your pick is gone. Or you fall out of your lottery position, then your pick is gone as the Pacers. And if you're adding Halliburton to Siakam, DeBonsta, Peterson, and Zubac, and you've still got Nembhard, you still got Aaron Nesmith, you still got all these guys that you like, Jarris Walker. Like, I think that's not nothing. So, really, really, really solid trade deadline from all three of those teams. I mean, in the Cavs, obviously they get rid of DeAndre Hunter in the Schroeder Keon Ellis trade with the Kings. I don't know, whatever. You can take your bets on what the Kings are doing. I don't know. Can DeAndre Hunter be a 30-point a game guy? You tell me. Next, I mean, I'll talk about my team quickly. If you don't know, I'm a Celtics fan. I think they did a good job. They were trying to get under the luxury tax completely. They did not want to be messing around with any of it, and they actually have a lot more cap flexibility moving forward. And Vucevic is nice, man. I think if Tatum's going to come back, I think it's a fine idea. I was trying to find a precedent for what the Celtics and Tatum are going through right now. There's no recorded cases of this in NBA history. It's a 1-of-1. I'm so excited to see how it shakes out. Even if Tatum does not come back this year, I want to see this team in the playoffs. I just want to see what it looks like. We've seen the Tatum Brown thing, and I want Tatum back. That's a no-brainer if you're any team. But yeah, I'd still be excited to see the Derek White, Vucevic, Jaylen Brown, Baylor Shireman, Peyton Pritchard-led Celtics. So no complaints from me. I understand why they did it. I like Simons a lot. I'm kind of disappointed I won't get to see him in the playoff role. He said today in the Chicago media that he may even think about returning to Boston. I hope he does. Anthony Simons, you will be missed for the time being. Anything else? Let's see. Oh, yeah, if you didn't hear, the Lakers got their shooter, Luke Kennard. I'm just kidding. They had to do at least something that, I don't think anybody's going to deceive themselves into thinking that the Lakers are going to win anything this year. And then, finally, you got to talk about this. If you don't know, I'm not big on Steve Kerr. I think he's criminally underused, not used Jonathan Kuminga. It's time to see. I think Kuminga is just a super high energy guy that doesn't have like a discernible elite skill, but is just such a God-given athlete and just has enough IQ. I think Kuminga is a real piece for the Hawks moving forward. I may look back on this in a year and he's like off the team and, it's the Jalen Johnson, whoever they get with this Pelicans pick show. But anyways, that was 10 minutes on the trade deadline. It was eventful. I found myself looking at my phone more than I ever have, and I'm happy to do it. I'm not going to talk about the Giannis stuff. It makes me mad. I think Giannis should leave. I get that he's caught in the middle, and then he's also a Kalshi ambassador, but whatever. Here we go. Moving on. Let's go to All-Star Weekend real quick. Let's talk look in the camera, me and you, let's talk as NBA fans. Do we like basketball? Me and you, do we like basketball? Okay. Then stop talking about the All-Star break. Stop saying everything's wrong with it. Stop telling me that I can't enjoy the dunk contest because all the dunks have been done and the players in the dunk contest aren't exciting. Jackson Hayes is not exciting. Okay. All right, cool. Then don't watch it and don't talk about it and I don't want to hear it. I understand that the game is boring and that they're trying to figure out ways to spice it up and they can't. I understand that. But just let me watch it. Let me watch all these guys that I watch on different League Pass channels in one arena. And if it's boring, it's boring. But I mean, I'll be honest. One of my clearest NBA memories is watching Jason Tatum win the NBA All-Star MVP. So if you don't like basketball and you don't like the All-Star break, then just don't talk about it. Because if you're not going to watch it, then whatever. And I understand why the case against the All-Star game and the festivities and its fall off is made, because I think there's this vision of what it was and what it should be, because it should be what I'm talking about. Like everybody all in one spot. It should be all these players, all the best players in one spot. It should be an honoring night for the game of basketball. And yes, it doesn't feel like that right now. But I just, if you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. And if you're going to just sit there and clown on it for social media clicks, like if you're going to clown on the fact that there's no big names in the dunk contest, and like if you're going to clown on the fact that the game isn't, these guys don't want to get hurt. They get paid a ton of money to do what they do. And to be honest with you, I can't say I blame them, because how bad do you think they're going to feel if they let their team down? They step on somebody's foot and then they're out for an extended period of time going into the playoffs, or they miss out on the chance to go all NBA. I can't say I blame them. I know I'm probably in the minority there. If you don't like the All-Star festivities, don't watch them. But I enjoy them for what they are. I think they could be improved upon a little bit. I think the game itself can be kind of a pickup atmosphere that you see now. And towards the end, players are playing hard. And that's what it should be. I think that would be my ideal All-Star break. So one other thing I wanted to talk about, a lot of articles I saw this week were talking about Tankapalooza as we head into one of the better NBA drafts of all time, for sure. I mean, I can't say that's wrong. I mean, it is, man. It's shaping up, dude. DeBonsta had 36 the other night. Are you kidding? Holy cow! And Peterson is like, he's probably one of the better players I've ever seen in college, at least. Because the problem for me with the college game is it's so, when you're watching it, and don't think that I'm commenting on the fact that I'm even close to the basketball player that some of these Division I guys are. But the problem with me for the college game is it's very unrefined, like in as far as actual skill to somebody who's used to watching the NBA. So with Peterson, there's none of that, though. He's like a 10-year pro in an 18-year-old's body who doesn't really like playing basketball. So I get the hesitancy to take him, and Ben Simmons may scare off more teams than just, Peterson's character concerns. I think the roll of the dice is there, man. I think you have to. He's so good. Like I think DeBonsta is going to be. I think DeBonsta is going to be amazing as well. Like I don't even think it's a question. I mean, like that's the problem with this, or that's not the problem. I mean, that's what's got to make you feel good as an NBA GM. Like you now have the opportunity to, if you take DeBonsta and not Peterson, and both of them work out, then you feel great, because I think DeBonsta, he may have the highest upside that you've seen of anybody. So I don't know. I know Cameron Boozer, that was the guy I was trying to think of earlier in the dementia moment. I know people are not thrilled with him as an NBA prospect. I think he's a high floor guy. So, but getting back to the NBA, the guys that you see in this, the teams that you see that are headed for the tank. I mean, well, one, the Hawks are in play. The Bucks are in play because they own the worst of the Pelicans pick. The Hawks obviously own the unprotected pick. The Pacers now have a reason with their recent trade. They already were in it, but now they've gone all in for Zubac. So it's kind of a have your cake and eat it too moment with the Pacers. The Mavericks have interest in this. Surely they're going to try to get Flag a suitable running mate. The Nets, who I think people thought were starting to become too good to tank. That's kind of fizzled out as they've, I don't know. Some of their young players are really interesting. Yeah, I'll get back to you on Ben Seraph and Igor Demon. And then, of course, you have the Jazz, who kind of started the Tankathon with sitting Lauri Markkanen, Jaren Jackson, and some of their other starters the other night. All that to say, this kind of ties into my all-star point. I think people think that the NBA has a tanking problem. And my counter to that is, are you watching the Jazz? Are you like, I know the Jazz fan base is watching the Jazz, and the Jazz season ticket holders can't be happy with the Jazz. And that's understandable. But how many NBA fans that complain about the tanking are actually watching the Jazz? How many NBA fans, if their team went 33-49, I think that's the math, 33-49, would be upset because their team won 33 games and they didn't win 13 games, or they didn't win 21 games, and now they're stuck in the middle of the lottery, like the Chicago Bulls, or kind of how the Jazz have been. They've been stuck in the middle of the lottery forever, or the Kings. Like, how many NBA fans out there do you know that are like, sweet, my team went 33-49? No, the teams are tanking because the fans know the potential there in winning, in winning 21 games compared to 35. And that's what they should be doing. And I think they need to clean this up a little bit. They definitely do. You absolutely need to de-incentivize teams to just tank the season out of the gate. The Wizards, what they're doing, the Pacers, the Nets, like, you can't even say the Kings and Pelicans because they're trying to win games. Pelicans aren't sitting anybody. They're in every game. That's another discussion. But I think you need to de-incentivize the insta-tank teams. But if you get halfway through the season and nobody's watching you on League Pass anyways, and you don't have any other reason, then why wouldn't you try to lose 10 extra games and get a better player for your franchise next season? And you can say, oh, that de-incentivizes trying in the regular season at all. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. You try in the regular season, and then as a player, if you know that and as a organization, a coaching staff, general manager, if you know that your team just can't cut it the way it's currently constructed, then you try again. That's what the Grizzlies did in the trade deadline. I mean, that's what they did last offseason when they traded Desmond Bane. The Memphis Grizzlies realized, hey, we can't compete with the Thunder ever, even at our healthiest, with Desmond Bane, John Morant, and Jaren Jackson Jr. So why don't we do the Thunder method? We have 13 or whatever it is. I think it's like 8 to 13 first-round picks over the next couple of years. Why don't we just adopt that method because it's worked so well for the Thunder? And this is where the current NBA is headed, because the skill level is just rising. It's the best it's ever been. It's so exciting to watch night in and night out. So I don't think the NBA is a tanking problem. That's my point about the All-Star game and the Tankathon. I think the NBA has a fan problem. We don't know what we want. We see all of these different headlines of, oh, is load management hurting? So the NBA puts in the 65-game All-NBA. Well, now we hate that because Jokic may not make All-NBA and LeBron's All-NBA streak is broken. So now we don't like that. Guys, just enjoy the product. Enjoy the ride that basketball is going to provide, man. I can't tell you how exciting some of these League Pass games get. I'm about to go watch Bulls Celtics right after I record this. I'm going to slap a thumbnail on this. I'm going to put it up on all the podcast apps, the YouTube apps, and I'm going to enjoy it. Watch out for Jared McCain on the Thunder. I don't know. I don't get it, guys. I don't get it. I don't get why you let that guy go, even for 1 first in 3 seconds. Trace Jackson Davis on the Raptors. I like that. If you're a young player, you need to get as far away as possible from Steve Kerr. He'll play Seth Curry or Gary Payton II over you. This has been the Eye Test. I believe it's episode 8. Thank you guys so much for watching here on the Chat It Up Sports YouTube channel. Hit a subscribe, hit a like for me. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening on podcast, I think there's subscribe buttons on there as well. Just do all the buttons, click all the buttons. Doesn't take you any time. Helps us out a lot. These episodes will definitely be more frequent, as right now we are building a new studio for the main podcast. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Until next time, peace.